This is Ryan with J&H, and today I'm going to go over your printing driver and some of the options in there in terms of finishing and just some more in-depth information, particularly for the middle school. So I've selected the 8205, and I'm going to go through printing a document and just a few things you can do for settings on that document. So I've selected the 8205. I'm going to hit Printer Properties. That's going to bring up my Printer Properties dialog box. In this one, I've already set up the output method, set the default to store to mailbox. I've already got the two-sided printing to one-sided. See my video on setting up your mailbox as default. If you do not have these settings already set as your default, you'll need to do them for each printer on the network that you want to set that default to. In terms of what I can do from this dialog box, first, this is the Canon printer dialog box. Every program also has some printing settings. For instance, Word also over here has settings for what pages you want to print, what size. Keep in mind that the settings that I do in Word or the program itself and the settings I do in the print driver can conflict. The more I do in one and not the other and not mismatch, the better settings or results I'm going to get. Sometimes they like to fight. They can't decide who's in charge between the two. So I recommend set the majority in the print driver and then play any additional settings in the program itself. First thing you get in the print driver is this basic settings tab. It's going to give you kind of a favorites or best of all it can do here. If I need to do 1 to 2 sided printing, it's right here. If I need to do finishing, there's a quick setting here to whether I have finishing, to staple or collate, group, etc. I can change my orientation. I can also change my page size. So in this case, I'm printing on letter and I am outputting to match whatever the original size is. But let's say I want to print on a larger size and blow it up. So my letter, I want to put on 11 by 17. I don't have to go into the program and change the original paper size. It knows it starts at letter. It will now scale it up. You'll notice over here the scaling has changed to 130% to correspond with that. If I want to make additional changes for that scaling and not just accept the automatic scaling, I can come in here and click manual and change it myself. I can change the number of copies. I can also come in here and go to page setup. This you'll see the page output again. Some of these settings are redundant from the basic settings. Page layout, one-on-one. That says for every page that I'm printing, I'm putting it on one page that I'm printing out. So you can also select additional. So for instance, 2-on-1 will put page 1 and 2 of the document on one page for you. Kind of like PowerPoint slides. That is how your page layout button. Scaling, here's again, there's watermark. If you want to add watermark, you can add page numbers if you want under page option. Add the print date where you want to do it, page number. For instance, if I want to put page numbers on the lower right, and I can format the settings of that text itself. Also over here you've got a icon or display to help visualize what's going on. It's interactive as well. You can see here it's on one-sided. I can click through. Now it's on two-sided. It changed what it looked like. There's booklet, back to one-sided. You can also do collate and offset here. In addition, on finishing, the 8205 has a staple finisher and a hole punch. Finishing options, I can group, I can staple, that's where I'll want to staple. If I staple it, I can tell it what staple position I want to put it. I'm going to select upper left. Down here I can also select offset. You can see the icon will change when I turn it on or off. That just means between the sets, will it set them slightly offset from the previous set so they're easy to separate or not. Notice it's still going 1, 2, 3 in terms of your pages either way. If I select group, then it's going to go all my page 1, all my page 2, all my page 3. I can again turn offset on or off for that. In this case, I'm going to change it back to letter. That's going to then give me the ability to do hole punching. Hole punch, you'll see 2, 3 hole punch, turn it off and on. Notice it shows you a little output here that you are hole punching. Turn that on or off there. Output method, I can tell it where it's coming out. This is not the tray it's selecting to print from, this is the tray it's selecting to print to. So you have the 2 output trays on your finisher, the top one and lower one. That's what you're selecting here. Under paper source, you can tell it where it's coming from. It's going to default to auto. Multi-purpose is the side tray here on the side. Otherwise, each drawer, I can fix it to that drawer rather than just have it select paper size accordingly. This is handy for, let's say we have color loaded in a particular drawer and you want to print to that drawer. You can select, hey, colors in drawer 3, and it will pull from that one automatically. In addition, there's some quality settings here. For the most part, you can go ahead and just leave it on general. One thing to note is if you make any changes here on your printer driver, you can save those changes for quick reference later. Up here under the profile, let's say I want to save these changes for the next time I don't have to remember what particular settings for a job name. Either it's a job I do very often or it's a job maybe I do once a month and I don't want to do 4 trials to get it right. I can come up here and I can say, after I set my settings, add. It's going to allow me to name it. I'm just going to call this test 1. These are icons that you can use for quick reference. It's up to you. They don't actually affect anything. And any further comments, you can view your settings just to check to see, is this what I really want, if you like. Otherwise, click OK, and you'll notice up here my profile is now saved to test 1. There are some ones here with the red dot that are default from the factory. I can edit as well, delete those off if need be, rename or delete if I change the profile that I just saved. But that way, if I come in here and I make a change, let's say I'm doing 2-sided and I printed a few things up, I can go ahead and save this to remember it, or come in here and go back to test 1 and it just recalled all the settings that I had previously saved there. That is printing from your print driver. Whatever settings I then hit OK, and it's remembering it for my print job. Thank you. Have a great day.